A very good morning to the honorable judges, loving teachers and friends. Today, I'm going to tell you a story entitled The Stonecutter. The Stonecutter. Once upon a time, there lived a stonecutter in a small village. All day long, he worked hard, cutting the stones and making the shapes which were needed by his customers. His hands were hard and his clothes were dirty. One day, he went to work on a big stone. It was very hard to work on, and yet the sun was very hot. After several hours cutting the stone, he sat down in the shade and soon fell asleep. After some time, he heard sounds of people coming. Waking up, he saw a long procession of people. There were many soldiers and attendants in the procession, and in the middle of it, there was a king in a palanquin, being carried by strong people. How wonderful it must be to be the great king, thought the stonecutter. How happy would I be if I were the king instead of a poor stonecutter. As he said these words, a strange thing happened. He found himself dressed in silk clothes and shining jewels. He was sitting in a comfortable palanquin. He looked through curtains and thought, how easy it is to be the king. These people are here to serve me. As the procession moved on, the sun grew hot. The stonecutter, now the king, was still warm for comfort. The king asked the procession to stop so he could rest for a while. At once, the chief of the soldiers bent before the king and said, Your Majesty, only this morning you swore to hang me to death if we did not reach the palace before sunset. The stonecutter felt sorry for him and ordered the procession to go on its way again. As the afternoon wore on, the sun grew hotter, and the king became more and more uncomfortable. I am powerful, it is true. But how more powerful is the sun? He thought. I'd rather be sun than a king. At once he became the sun, shining down on the earth. His new power was hard to control. He burned up the fields with his rays and turned the ocean into vapor that formed a great cloud in the sky which covered the land. But no matter how hard he shone, he still could not see through the clouds. It is obvious that clouds are even stronger and more powerful than the sun. I'd rather be a cloud. Suddenly, he turned into a huge dark cloud. He started using his new power. He poured rain down on the fields and caused floods. All the trees and houses were swept away. But that boulder that he was cutting when he was a stonecutter was still unmoved and unchanged. However much he poured down on the stone, it still did not move. Why is that rock more powerful than I am? He thought. Only a stonecutter could change that rock by his skill. How I wish I were a stonecutter. No sooner he said these words and found himself sitting on the stone with hard and rough hands. He picked up his tools and set to work on the boulder again, happily. Ladies and gentlemen, the moral of the story is, you must be contented with whatever abilities you possess, and you should not compare it with others. Instead, you must use it wisely. Thank you.